This is my new favorite pistol.
Piss off, you barking lunatic.
In this video, we're going to cover 4 things. Number 1, we're going to do a quick overview of this pistol, who makes it, all the goodies associated with it, and why I like it so much. Number 2, we're going to go over what makes it a pistol, according to the ATF. Number 3, we're going to go over its uses. What would you use this thing for and why? And then number 4, we're going to answer some of the questions that we all have, and you probably have, and is the barrel length affect its accuracy and the velocity, especially out of a 308. What do you think, Reese?
I
no,
think
the answer is no.
no.
The answer is yes, it is going to affect it somehow. We just don't know by how much. This is a pistol. We're going to get there in a minute, but what is this? This is made by SIG Sauer. This is the MCX Spear pistol, chambered in 7.62 by 51. That is a big round out of a small package. So this is a 13-inch barrel, which is 3 inches less than the 16-inch barrel.
3 inches is a lot.
For some people. The rail on this is actually a little bit shorter than a traditional rail. It's about 11.5 inches, I believe, versus 13 inches. It does not come with this stock or pistol brace on the back of it. It just kind of comes with a Picatinny rail in the back, so you can throw on whatever type of furniture you want, whether that be a SBR and you put a stock on it, or you put a pistol brace on it. This does not come with it out of the box. I just happened to get it and throw it on myself. What I do like is that everything on here is ambi. You have ambi controls with your safety, with your mag release, with your bolt release. You have a little lever right here, so you can drop it on either side. So you have it on this side. You also get a side charging handle. That's pretty cool. Not a lot of guns have a side charging handle and a rear charging handle or a traditional one. So to me, that's pretty awesome. You get a lot of space on top of this pistol to add your flashlights, your lasers, your optics. You have a long Picatinny rail that's all pretty flush with it. You actually get a lot of these QD mount. You get 2 in the front, you get 2 in the rear. Depending on what kind of stock you have or pistol brace you have, you get one in the back as well. You get a forward assist. I've never had to use a forward assist in my entire life, but it is there. This is also a pistol that probably weighs like 8 pounds naked. This is 8.5 times the weight. And with these optics and stuff on, it's probably pushing 10.5 pounds. That's how much I weighed coming out of the womb. That's my mom. True story. I was a big boy. You also have an adjustable gas system on this, which I love. This thing is meant to, in my opinion, meant to run suppressed. You have normal and you have, see right there, suppressed. It literally says it on it. So you turn that pretty easily. I love that it sticks out of the rail. 1, I kind of like how that looks, but 2, it makes it really easy to access. Sometimes if you have a traditional AR-15, they kind of tuck that gas block kind of in and away, and it's kind of hard to get to adjust it, especially on the fly if you don't have a lot of tools on you. The one thing I don't like about SIG Sauer pistol, this pistol specifically, is that it comes with their own muzzle brake. It's like a QD for their suppressor. You have to buy their SIG Sauer brand suppressor to put on this thing. Their torque specs are incredibly high, probably illegally high. You can't get these things off. I've tried. I've even heard stories of people trying to get these muzzle devices off, and they end up breaking parts on their gun, like their bolt nut. Horror stories. So I have tried on this rifle. I gave up. You have to literally get it burning hot and then take that off. But in a home office, I don't have the ability to use like a torch or rocket science to burn that thing off. So yes, if you have their SIG suppressors, you're probably fine. Thing goes on and off really easily. If you don't, you're kind of screwed. This come with a PMag in the box, has 1 PMag. I wish SIG Sauer would give you 2 or 3, especially for a $4,000 price tag. You would think that you'd get 4 magazines. There should be a new law. For every $1,000 of gun, you get 1 magazine. But for that kind of price tag, you would imagine that you would get at least a couple magazines with. And there are 308 versions on the, I guess, larger versions of the Spear. The rail's a lot thicker, and it has a lot of things you can use. What I mean by that, you have a lot of these M-lock spots, but you don't just have them on the 90-degree positions. You actually have some that are kind of canted. If you're going to put on your optic, your flashlight, maybe a laser, whatever you want to do, you can already run it canted without having to buy another tool to make it canted. I love that, kind of a built-in thing, but you have a lot of options. You have a lot of spots to put things on there if you choose so. But you have options, and options are nice. So the question now is, what makes this thing a pistol legally according to the ATF. I want to be very clear. This is a actual pistol. When I bought it, it had the word pistol on the form from the ATF. That is what they approved it by, transferred into my name. This is a legal pistol. Sig Sauer calls it a pistol on their website. Sometimes they just use the initial P, but it is there next to the MCX. It is a pistol. It is not an AOW or any other weapon. That's not what this is. And it's not an SBR, a short-barreled rifle. That comes later. You can pay the ATF $200 and convert this thing from a pistol into an SBR or in any other weapon or AOW. However, it is classified as a pistol according to the ATF based off of their paperwork on their form, but also based off of the legal definition of a pistol that we have right now. What I find interesting is that they define a pistol by being held or intended to be held one hand, fired with one hand. I showed that earlier that I could pick this up and fire it one-handed. That was its intent. Is it practical? No. Is it practical?
No, not at all.
It's kind of cool.
No, it's not.
All right, well, it intended and I was able to do so. The next part here it says is that the chamber needs to be aligned or integral part of the bore, okay? The chamber on this pistol is right in here, and it is aligned with the barrel. That's why this is a pistol. What doesn't make sense to me is most rifles also have their chamber aligned with their barrel. It's an integral part of it. You can't not have a chamber and somehow shoot this thing. They also define a pistol by its action. According to their website, it literally says single action, double action, or semi-auto, or single shot. That's a lot of different action types that this obviously fits that. This is semi-automatic. Well, this is also semi-automatic, which makes it a pistol according to the definition, which I think is just kind of crazy that it's so broad in general, but honestly, that's how it should be. Right, Reese?
Yeah.
Do you think that the ATF has the right to identify what type of weapons we use?
Absolutely not.
Did I pay to say that?
Absolutely not.
So by all legal definition, this is a actual pistol. If I were to put on a vertical grip or a buttstock like this one that is intended to be shouldered, that is where this would become a gray area and potentially illegal or a felony, depending if the ATF is going to press charges. I've literally heard the ATF say before that they're never going to come after you with this being the charge. They're going to tack that on to whatever the other crime was. What it seems like is that they're going to tack on an additional charge if I were to use maybe this pistol, for example. If I use this pistol to rob a bank, okay, and then I use a vertical grip or an actual stock, the primary charge is going to be robbing a bank at gunpoint, and a secondary charge will be having to do with these stocks and the vertical grip. I don't know why they want to come after law-abiding citizens. You know, I don't think this is going to stop criminals at all. And I know you guys aren't criminals. So in terms of this pistol, in terms of the internals, it is the exact same as the rifle variant of it. So internally, these things are identical. Obviously, the big difference is the stock and the barrel. Good job on SIG. This thing is incredibly heavy for a pistol, but we're gonna go shoot the crap out of it right now. Well, the pistol brace works, you know, as intended. Straps on, straps off, and as expected, you know. I will say, it's not fun. Kind of hurt, actually. The angle of the grip, I should say the handle, the angle of it, with the angle of how this thing kind of straps onto your forearm, it does make it kind of weird. I could see if this thing was not 8.5 pounds, that maybe this would actually be viable. It's a pistol, so it's intended to shoot one-handed. But just like every other pistol, you always use two hands, you know, and you push it out in front of you. You don't kind of suck it back in. So does it work? Yeah, it does work. Pistol grip works. Is it practical? Yeah, kind of, you know. We're going to be shooting the same exact rounds. We're going to shoot the rifle variant first, see how fast it is on our little ballistic measuring tool over there, our little apparatus. And then I'll shoot one out of the pistol version and see, I'm guessing maybe 150 to 200 feet per second slower out of this pistol versus the full length rifle. What do you think, Reese?
I concur.
How about we do it over lunch, dude? This should be 2,800 feet per second.
Okay.
Roughly.
Okay, 2,800 feet per second. This is the 16 inchers.
What does that say?
25.89.
24.63. I think you won, dude. Actually impressed. That's only 70, 100 feet per second slower. Wow. I think, hear me out, I think we should do a penetration test and see how deep we can send this thing. Hey, dude. Just straight through, straight through. And what's cool is there's actually a pretty good sized hole in there. Bullets sideways. Yeah, that thing toasted sideways. That's crazy, dude. Okay. I would say that went through about a third of the 4th ream of paper. Okay? Okay. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna turn this thing upside down, these ones, and shoot at the top again, that way it's at the bottom. We're gonna see if it's gonna go past it or kind of be about the same. Ooh, that actually is a lot more intact than I thought it might be. So based off just shooting a soft, firm target, you know, it's paper, but it's firm. It's about the same, to be honest. I don't think losing maybe 70 to 100 feet per second in velocity is going to translate to much shallower penetration. This is what the military runs. They run an SBR so they can run their suppressor on it. So this thing overall length is a lot shorter than the longer rifle, because this, although it's only a 16-inch barrel, that thing is still pretty long. And if you throw on another 12 inches of a suppressor, that's a pretty long broomstick you got to swing around. So I can see why they wanted to cut the barrel and use it for more of like a close quarter weapon. So we're going to test out how accurate this thing is with a shorter barrel, because 3 inches is
really a lot, yeah.
AMAX black. We're going to hit bottom left target. Next 3 shots is going to be the 168 AMAX Hornady. These ones we've had good luck with before. I'm going to aim for, I guess, bottom right, but they're still high to the right. That was beautiful. What I noticed in our last video with the POF rifle is that the heavier the round, the more accurate it was out of these 1 in 10 twist rate barrels. This was the 168. I am very impressed with this grouping size. You're gonna go see that right now. So this was the 155 grain, I think is what it is. Probably about 2.5 inches, we'll measure that. But this I'm really impressed with. That is the 168, is the heavier AMAX Black Hornady. I'm aiming at this target. Obviously we're way off to the right. I need to adjust my windage, but I care more about the grouping size right now and less about where it's actually hitting at. But this tells me that of a 13-inch barrel, we're still capable of shooting MOA grouping, which that's 1 inch per 100 yards. We're about at 100 yards right here, give or take maybe 5. But this is crazy. This is crazy impressive to me. I want to go back, load up some more, get a new target. I want to shoot a few more groupings with some heavier rounds and see if we can replicate this over and over again. We're gonna see if it's just a fluke or if this is actually an accurate barrel, considering the overall length being 13 inches. These 168 AMAX Hornady Black rounds seem to do really well. I've always liked shooting these things, but we're gonna also test out the Federal ones. These are 308, obviously, made for hunting, power shock, 180 grain. These are gonna be quite a bit heavier than the 168. It seems like out of this shorter barrel, it is favoring the heavier rounds. I'm not even going to shoot the 150s, the 150 grains. I don't think there's even a point to do that. I just think that it's the harmonics of this barrel not going to sit well with those ones. So, okay, first up is actually going to be the 168 Hornady AMAX. I for sure pulled that first one. That's my bad. You guys are going to see that. But let me shoot these 180s Federal at the right-hand target. Wow. You guys can already see that probably on camera. I am incredibly impressed with this grouping again. I mean, that is sub MOA at 100 yards all day long. This grouping, this was my first shot, second, third, something like that. And then I wanted to do one more to show you guys that I'm the one who kind of messed up the first shot. Then I kind of messed it up again. So it's probably not me. Maybe it is the barrel. Maybe it is the rounds, but this is still what I would kind of expect out of a 308 semi-automatic platform shooting I guess it is match grade rounds, but like non-hand loaded rounds out of the box, this is great. This is what I expect. This is crazy though. This is what I would expect out of my bolt action like rifle that I use for long range precision. Is it meant to be accurate? No. Is it capable of being accurate? Yeah, absolutely. I'm impressed with this, especially if I throw on a can and then maybe SBR this thing and have a proper stock on it that I can kind of shoulder into me as I'm shooting in the prone position. I might be able to make those groupings a little bit better. I know I'm not shooting a 5-shot group. This is just a 3-shot group and a 4, but I'm impressed with it regardless. I was super impressed with the accuracy, and we shot this thing a lot all day long. But overall, I'm really impressed with this thing being a pistol and still getting almost the same exact use as a rifle would. Velocity, almost the same. Penetration, identical. Accuracy, almost. I've shot similar groups out of this rifle before, but I've actually never shot as consistent groups as I did today with the pistol. So in my personal opinion, I don't know why you would buy the full length rifle. I don't know why you want it. I think that this is a really good pistol that can be converted into a rifle whenever you see fit, especially if you get this thing SBR'd and you throw on your suppressor and maybe a proper stock and a vertical grip. This could be a really awesome piece of machinery. So I think SIG Sauer did a fantastic job. If you guys have any questions or comments or let me know how I did, reach out, let us know. What would you guys change about this thing and what would you guys do differently?